Yes, have a higher win rate than coaches saying we are definitely winning this game, at least at this event so far.
I would love to see the statistics on that.
Yeah.
One-word answers, if that equates to more wins, or if they're eloquent, perhaps they lose more.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, but
kind of like me. I talk a lot, but not so much play, you know? So
yeah.
It makes sense. It really does make sense.
You know what else makes sense? That this is game 2, because game 1 is over. Not sure if you're aware of that, Sundarin, but
that's true.
Game 2 of this lower bracket matchup between Gaimin Gladiators and OG. OG with a 1-0 advantage so far. And they're looking to close this series out while Gaimin trying to hold on to their TI hopes and try and force a game number 3. We're finally going to see some primal beast action, but the panel kind of talked about a lot of bad matchups for my boy. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, so Clockwork is already a little bit of a tricky one to deal with because you're a mobility-based hero, right? As Primal Beast, you really need to move around and navigate the fight, and you have an ability that gives you a lot of armor, but in the way, like Clockwork is 90% magic damage, he has a lot of ways of interrupting your movement with cogs, with hookshot, battery assault is annoying, and you have Pango ult that's going to be annoying for you. You have Ice Path that you need to navigate around, Viper Strike, and then the last pick that OG get, which kind of reminds me a little bit of what they did in game number 1. They picked this Faceless Void, so if the Primal is going off lane, he's going to be playing against Void, which is one of Primal's worst lane matchups. You can just time walk away from the trample. And if he's going mid, he's going against Pango, who can just swashbuckle away from the trample. So they kind of cover their bases here where they see Gaimin Gladiators going for a top-tier pick, and they just make sure there's nowhere he's going to be truly happy to play. So it's a very disruptive way of thinking about drafting that not only do their heroes make a lot of sense together, but there's one singular hero in the enemy team that you're really just trying to make miserable, and that's going to be Ace. So curious to see how he performs in this game. I think it's a very, very difficult Primal game.
Yeah. What about the other heroes, though? We have Lifestealer with the Infest Bomb potential into the Storm Spirit, which was the last pick from Gaimin.
The Storm pick was very good, for sure.
So see if they can execute properly in the mid-game. Try to get some pickoffs here onto OG. How many Midases can see this game from OG?
I don't think BZM usually buys Midas on Pango, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say 0.
0? The Viper Midas.
Maybe Uragi will buy one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Faceless Void buys it from time to time, right? So, and Amar buys one every game, so I think it could be 2 still.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It definitely could be. And on the side of Gaimin Gladiators, Lifestealer, probably the only one who would ever buy it, really. If you buy Primal Beast Midas, you're playing the hero wrong. I'll go out and say that right now.
Maybe he needs it real bad this game because of the bad matchups.
I think that's not a good look.
I mean, what kind of itemization can you go for Primal Beast to try to mitigate, like, the counters that you're going up against?
I mean, you obviously have to get BKB, right?
That's every game.
Yeah, but you have to get it even more this game. You have to get 2 BKBs this game.
Oh, so a refresher. Okay.
But you don't have mana for that, so you need some sort of item to give you mana. So you're going to hope that you find...
All right, give me the full list of items that will allow him to have double BKB.
Is he getting the robe or not?
Let's just say everything goes his way.
Okay, BKB phase boots, robe, refresher, and then is wand enough? I don't actually know. It's probably close.
I don't know. His mana pool is atrocious. That's Taiga taking pretty heavy damage in the bot lane here. Dyrachyo pops the rage, take off those poison attacks.
I mean, he could also go BKB refresher and 6 mangoes.
Okay, sure. That sounds a little less than ideal.
He has 3 of them already. He's halfway there.
So he just needs to not use them.
He almost has his first major item, 6 mangoes.
Maybe if he could get the mango tree, then it would be possible.
Oh.
Right, then you don't have to buy it.
Missed that so much, Misha.
Onslaught with the trample. Lots of damage. I mean, you talked about how Uragi can deal with this, but what about Jakiro? Yeah,
Jakiro is not particularly good against Primal in lane, so Misha definitely has to be careful about positioning. One of the upsides to Jakiro over certain other supports is it has pretty high base HP, so getting the full kill is difficult, but you put a lot of pressure and you do economic damage. Jakiro's probably going to have to buy salves here if it keeps getting pressured. But yeah, it could be better, it could be worse. There are certain other supports that absolutely get bodied by Primal, and Jakiro is not really in that category, but it's also not the greatest.
We are many minutes away from this happening, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up now.
Tier 5 neutral items?
No, actually, for once you're incorrect.
I can't believe it.
Well, I'm bringing this up because I know you're such a big fan of Clockwork, but
I am.
seeing the Aghanim Scepter at this tournament, it hasn't been picked up as much because it's a lot of it is support and you have to get the gold, but when it's picked up, it feels impossible to play against a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think the biggest upside to it is just the vision, right? If you're playing support Clock and you just spam out the rockets in key moments, you get a lot of information, which is very powerful. I do think in this game, Taiga is more likely to go 4-step, though. I just think it's too good to not buy. You're playing against Lifestealer, you're playing against Primal Beast. Oh, Taiga, by the way, taking some hefty damage down here. We'll be fine, though.
Yeah, has to be careful with that Ghoul Frenzy, of course, level 1. Very important spell for Lifestealer.
I mean, unless they see incredible value in getting the multiple rockets, I think the best Clockwork build in this game is probably 4-step Lotus. Get the Lotus against the Global Silence for any teammate of your choosing so you can save them. It's a great way of countering Storm Spirit because he can't really Vortex unless he BKBs. And the 4-step, just amazing, right? Primal, Lifestealer, even Storm. If the hero at least turns around before they get pulled by Vortex, you can reset their position pretty well. Taiga's gonna trade again.
It could be very annoying as Dyrachyo has to pop the old Rage and just walk out. I mean, from BZM's perspective on the Pango, when you're going up against the likes of, like you said, the Global Silence, which can be really annoying. What's the Ziragi? Oh, the Trample.
He has time walk again.
Though. But what kind of itemization for BZM? Are you having to go BKB at some point? We used to see Lotus Orbs back in the day, but that hasn't really been as much of a thing for the mid Pango. Or you're relying on your team to get the
I kind of like Diffusal here still, right?
But you're going to go for that regardless, right? But like,
yeah, after Diffusal, I don't know, is BKB enough?
Accelerate?
Yeah.
That's going to be first blood for Amar. And Dyrachyo has to be careful. He's going to pop the Rage, though.
This bottom lane got basically twice as strong when Taiga hit level 3. It is such a huge turning point for Clockwork's ability to play offensively. Like, heroes that can usually somewhat trade with you just get absolutely destroyed all of a sudden because you more than double the damage of Battery Assault. Goes from 20 to 45 from that level 1 to 2. One of the biggest spell upgrades in the entire game, in my opinion. All right, good setup.
Mid with the Frostbite, a lot of damage to BZM, but he gets off the swatch.
Oh, the miss
from Boom.
Oh, he still got
low ground, but he still finds the kill in the end.
Very close.
That was very close to being extremely unfortunate for Boom.
If Taiga had enough mana for Cogs, he might have actually survived there. They find the Jakiro.
They get trampled down, and Yuragi gets off the time dilation. He's not going to be able to likely find a kill unless he gets a timely bash here on
Any bash? Any bash?
No.
No bash. This reminds me of when I play Faceless Void.
Okay. Give me the deets.
I think sometimes it's tempting to not skill time lock because it just doesn't work when you're playing the hero. I understand why other players skill it though, because it's really good on them. So.
Yeah, so it seems.
Yeah.
But BZM in the mid lane, 36-5 versus the 28-6. Despite that death, was ahead of the CS. But we can see on the net worth essentially even, all things considered, as he is now level 6, so the Rolling Thunder available. I mean, from the Storm Spirit's perspective,
Hearing an onslaught. Total miss there.
Yeah, he does take down a lot of trees, though.
That's true. Is that one of the predictions for this game? No, it is not.
Those are my favorite, yeah. I missed the community challenge to kill trees.
Dyrachyo needs to be careful here. Has the phase boots, which is very, very useful against the Clockwork.
Yeah, Tofu gets up the last ward, but BZM with the Rolling Thunder.
Oh,
nice juking from Tofu.
Fancy footwork
on though. I don't know if he's gonna hit him a second time. No. Tofu definitely has his dancing shoes on as he's able to only get hit once.
I believe this is what some people refer to as NA driver. That's
okay,
what that
sure. Accelerate. He's going to get soloed down. Amar actually gets credit for that kill. And now the Viper Strike onto Dyrachyo, attempting to TP out. Oh, he dies in the fountain. Oh, dear. Very unfortunate sequence of events for Gaimin Gladiators in this bot lane. That feels awful. So he's going to have to make the walk of shame. And, I mean, do you have to go to the jungle? Because obviously Viper Strike, now that that's online, very low cooldown.
It's not only that. Amar's going to be level 7, and you just cracked level 5. This bottom lane is over. The problem is, Lifestealer jungle is pretty slow, and you can at least still somewhat sustain yourself down here. And I think if you leave Maiden down here, she's just going to get dove non-stop, right? Yeah. So you probably kind of have to just go there and pick up the pieces and get what you can. But yeah, Amar with a complete dumpstring in this lane now, 1,400 net worth ahead of Duracho 8 minutes in. Effectively 300 more GPM if you think about it that way. That is, that's scary if you're Gaimin Gladiators. This bottom lane, definitely they could not afford it to go this poorly from the get-go.
I can see that it started as a smoke and now an Invis rune topped for Boom, who's now in the OG triangle, but Taiga.
Getting the Viper here would be a really, really good play to try to bring back Duracho. I think this is the right idea with this Invis rune, and it looks like Amar has no idea.
There's the initiation. He has to stand his ground with the Nether Toxin and the right clicks. It's actually
trade him
he's
away,
just
though.
Rot away inside, so it's a 1-for-1, and now Celery with the rotation of BZM will be taken out. So it looked like it was going to be a clean pickoff for Gaimin Gladiators, not to be, and it might be even more as Boom has to expend a lot of mana, but Taiga, not quite level 6 yet.
Maybe not, actually.
He's catching up. Shield crash, and he's going to get locked down into Oblivion, so another kill for OG.
And that is another big part of why Amar is so strong on this hero, is that even when the enemy team is going for his Viper to try to solve the lane after it's been lost, if his teammates are fast at rotating, Viper is a pretty hard kill. You can see Amar going for the traditional item build of
Chronosphere, and Amar is on the other side as well.
That's a goner.
And uses the Viper Strike just to ensure another kill on a core hero for Gaimin.
What do you think about Amar's item build? I don't think I've ever seen this.
What do we got here today? Dragon Lance?
Wraithband, Null Talisman.
Oh, I didn't.
And 2 branches, no stick.
Okay.
He's getting the mana regen from the Null, and then he's not buying stick. This is one of those do not try it at home moments. Don't do this at home.
I'm sure people will.
You or do it at home. Maybe it's easy to pull off and look good on.
Yeah, that is odd, but Amar always has his reasons for.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he has bought this multiple times before, and I just haven't noticed. But it just stood out to me. This is an item combination you very rarely see. Wraith plus Null. Good steal there from Boom, though. He got some of it.
Indeed. Ice pack.
Oh no! No!
Will take down eventually, though, to Misha. And now Celery looks to be next, potentially. Not even needing the rolling thunder.
God.
Man, Gaimin they're getting punished every single angle of the map right now.
That is a kill I would have never expected there. The fact that OG finds that with that combination of Jakiro and Pango was really, really good. And it was on the edge, too. I think he died from the last tick of Dual Breath. It was the very last second, so also close call.
Yuragi, the global silence, the Infest out, and they do claim themselves the Faceless Void. And it's hard not to look at the scoreline because it's a 3K lead for OG, but Taiga, he's going to be the next to fall, it looks like.
Okay.
So Gaimin able to get some important kills here to try to get back in this game.
Well, they've also taken half the mid tower, so not too bad. Great rotation there, good first global. Usually what Faceless Void does so well against Primal, which is also what happened in lane, right, is that you go on him and he just time walks away. But when you do have that global silence and you time it well, you start off the onslaught where Void is like, oh, they're going on me, and then you global him and he can't solve it. Obviously Void will be itemizing against this eventually, but not yet.
And you also fix them. I blocked them.
Is that on CM?
Yeah, kill.
All right, some laughing, some gibberish a little bit here and there, but worked out.
I like Amar's advanced call of kill.
Kill.
Good strategy there. I do believe that is a winning strategy most of the time.
Yeah, Tofu, he's dead.
Kill.
That's definitely a throwback to Eternal Envy days, right? Just repeat the same word.
He would still be saying kill now.
It's just like an endless loop. Recursive loop if you're a programmer.
Why has anyone ever made an Eternal Envy remix? It's like
I'm sure
they have that as like it'd be a pretty, I was going to say a pretty good beat, but maybe not. But it would be a beat.
I've actually seen one for sure.
You have?
Yeah, you can just Google it later.
Yeah.
But OG with
I will
2K
definitely
lead
do
now.
that.
Ace and company in the driver's seat right now. I mean, what does Gaimin need to do? The Infest Bomb was great, but obviously the global silence was needed for that kill.
Yeah.
Very long cooldown.
They have global again in 10. I think you make another move like that.
So just do everything off the global cooldown.
Not everything, but you need to use global. So whenever you have it, you should make a move, and when you don't have it, you maybe need to be a little bit more creative with the plays that you make, but when global is up, there's just no excuse for not finding a big pick, and it's going to happen right now.
They're going to spawn him, he swashbuckles to the creeps, which actually gives him a little bit of extra space. But there, he's going to get silenced and eventually brought down.
It cost Boom
Yes,
every
it did, but he dodges the hook shot. He's going to be spotted, but I don't think they can close the gap in time. The ice path just barely not in time.
And that is why Taiga's nickname is What Can You Do? Sometimes you just miss.
And Dyrachyo focusing on the tier 1 tower will have to rage away as the rest of OG have come in. They've brought this back for sure.
That was a very fortunate swash, to be honest. Like,
yes.
That play got so much harder than it had any business doing because the perfect timing of the swashbuckle as Storm was jumping, and he had no way of knowing that. So just pretty fortunate there. But also, again, Boom at least getting away from that is really great news for him. He's closing in on the Witchblade. Maybe he can solo Void with that plus global? I think, because Void has treads Midas, right? Like, Yuragi is very far away from any defensive item that's going to solve the global. He's probably going to go Manta after the Maelstrom, I would imagine, or BKB, one or the other. But until that point, I think Storm has his number. And they could even kill him with an Infest Bomb, I think, without global. As long as they have that Witchblade. Should be enough. Taiga is going to find Celery.
Indeed, inside the cogs. Ace is here to watch for the time being, but Dyrachyo pops the rage, and now the focus is on Taiga. Gets off the hook shot, and look at that range from Amar. They end up getting the support kill in the end as BZM gets off. Oh, doesn't want to go for the Rolling Thunder quite, but the Electric Vortex comes in. But you have to be careful to that Storm Spirit. The Infest into Ace with the trample. Not enough to finish off Taiga in the end as the Uproar procs. The cogs being used as a wall to be able to maneuver with this Rolling Thunder. That is going to be the death of Ace, and now the Chronosphere on his teammates, but the more important is on the Lifestealer, and Dyrachyo will fall as a result. Not the prettiest of plays, but OG still get it done.
I don't really know if OG could have done much more there. What I'm wondering is if there was a way for Ace to set that up better on the Primal. If they could have been quicker about it and gone on top of the Pango and then get the Pulverize off, but as we talked about pre-game, it is a hard Primal game. You really need to hedge your bets about how you go. We're going to see the replay here. So this is obviously one of the best matchups for Clockwork against a support. Crystal Maiden, super slow, can't really break your cogs very easily once she's in there. You kill her off. Now the Viper Strike going to go into Dyrachyo, forcing the Infest here. And this is where, so when this Storm Jump comes in, if Ace uses his spell combo onto the Pango, I think they actually could potentially kill him there.
I hear the onslaught, and that is a lot of damage. Taiga is dead.
That'll do. Closing in on BKB now, Ace. We'll give him some more freedom, but it's not a guaranteed connection. You still, when you're pulverizing, you get countered by the Chrono, and you can get countered by Hookshot. So it's not one of those Primal games where it's just like, all right, BKB unlocked, I'm going to start crushing fools left and right. It's not that straightforward.
Is that a voice line? I'm crushing fools?
Is it?
I don't think he speaks any actual words, just roars.
Yeah, maybe one of them means that, though.
That's true. We don't have a translator on hand quite yet. I do believe he speaks the same language as Slacks. Man, we are on the same page.
We are on the same page. We finish each other's
horses. As Yuragi.
No, we don't.
Yeah, just move on. That was a good joke, Ace.
Yeah.
Inside the cogs, which gets broken right away by Taiga. He is dead again. Yep. So they're able to find him pretty consistently, which, like you said, is a pretty important hero to take out before any of these engagements, because it does disrupt a lot of what Ace wants to do.
Oh, that's a long jump.
Zip in, BZM. Going to be found, but the swashbuckle out. Ice Path does connect onto Boom, but I'm not sure who wants to fight here. Both sides kind of happy to walk away, it looks like.
I think OG are a little bit timid. They don't have their Clockwork, and Global Sounds is up, so that is a pretty difficult fight to take. And they also have the read that there's obviously Gaimin Gladiators vision there, because Pango got jumped in Fog. So I really like the call to not force that as Dire. I think the risk reward was just not good enough for you. So they're gonna chill. Wait for Chrono as well, worth keeping in mind. They didn't have that for that either, so probably even less eager to get anything done. But now that it is online and he has Maelstrom, perhaps OG are considering a move.
Radiant are scanning.
Hearing out the Infest Bomb ready to come, but the action's going to start onto Celery, who's just dead right off the bat. The Global Silence comes, though. Rolling Thunder already activated as Duracho able to claim himself the first kill. They're going to find another on top as Amar falls. The buyback was used on the Celery. As you can see, the BKB already activated from Ace. And Taiga at the root keeps him in place, and Celery's buyback ends up being worth it. So double kill for Boom as Gaimin taking a big fight for themselves, although BZM able to claim Tofu.
Yeah, pretty good from Gaimin. They're really getting value out of this Infest Bomb right now on that Storm. Getting that Viper kill, just negating Amar in that fight. He will have BKB probably in the next big fight though, so then I think this play will not be successful next time around unless Lifesteal gets a Desolator so they have enough in the tank to just bring him down right away when they jump in. But yeah, good stuff for Gaimin Gladiators. I think in a pretty good position here to proceed in the game. And obviously the BKB on Primal Beast, huge reveal there. Ace was able to create a ton of space in the fight. Never got chronoed because Yuragi wasn't really there in the beginning and Clockwork was on the other side of the fight. So got completely free movement.
Players here.
Yep, and for the rest of the item progressions, we can see that Duracho is essentially halfway to his Desolator, which is going to be a huge power spike. What do you think of Ace working on, we've been seeing a decent amount of this, the Aghanim Scepter from Primal Beast. I mean, the first thing I think of is breaking, but it feels like it's been picked up consistently even without that in mind.
Yeah,
just a lot of damage.
I have to say, I don't have the best read on the, like, when and why this exactly is good in a specific game, but I will say one of the major upsides to buying it is that it gives you the mana for Refresher, right? So when you do take this path, instead of like certain other heroes, in order to get Refreshable by Scotty, you're definitely not doing that. So it's kind of between the Axe and Shiva, and I think in this game maybe he feels like the armor from Shiva is actually not going to do that much because the enemy team has so much magic damage that maybe he's better off getting some more utility this way and then transitioning to Refresher. I think that's probably the line of reasoning. But I'm not certain when I would say the Scepter is better than Shiva, because I think Shiva is really good on this hero in general too. So. But anyway, are those the 3 mangoes he started the game with? That would be hilarious. It might be. I mean, maybe it's just kept. I mean, they give region, right?
Yeah, of course, just a little bit. I'm sure it's really helped out a lot as Smoke.
Does break here. Yuragi doesn't
don't know what direction. It is daytime.
Oh, guess this is wrong.
On the wrong side. Tofu. You have the zip coming in from Boom. Electric Vortex is there. And he's going to easily be taken out, so a big pickoff for GG.
Close to a time walk, but not quite. But that was global expended in half of Storm's mana pool, so maybe OG will look for something here.
Yep, they're going to start out onto Ace. Already at half HP, pops that BKB. Viper Strike as well, attempting to TP out.
Not enough.
Will be fine. But Celery, not so much. Again, the sacrifice, I think Gaimin is A-okay with that.
That was, I want to say, about 1/10 of a second away from a Primal Beast kill, because Taiga just barely couldn't get on the other side of him to cog him for the knockback stun. So he did just get the BKB off on Primal there. With a level 2 hookshot, that's a kill 100%. Maybe if Taiga hits the angle a little bit better, he kind of got blocked by the creep on the left, so he couldn't find the angle there. And those things matter a lot. Like, that would have been a huge kill. It's the richest hero on the side of Gaimin Gladiators that OG just narrowly miss. They do get the CM, as you mentioned, though, and that was a dieback from Celery, so he's on the sidelines for a very long time.
That aura is going to be very missed right now.
Yeah, level 1 aura.
Ace cares about that.
He has his mangoes. Wait, where are his mangoes?
Oh.
Did he eat them all?
I guess.
So really hungry all of a sudden. Do you ever, like, shotgun mangoes? Just, like, 3 back-to-back?
No. I'm surprised that's in the diet of a Primal Beast, if I'm being honest. As the Tier 1 tower is done. 3K lead now for OG. When it comes to the old Roche, Synderin, who would you say has the advantage?
Probably...
Neither of them are like super Roche killers. What about like the team fight in the Roche as well?
Yeah, when Duracho gets a Deso, it definitely gets easier for the Radiant to do it overall, but I don't know, I feel like probably OG, if you put me on the spot, like you have Battery Assault, you have the Disarm from Pango, it all adds up, Poison Attack, lots of damage over time. The fight itself, I think it's completely down to Global Silence. Gaimin Gladiators lineup can absolutely fight in any area of the map if they have vision and they get the initiation. If they don't, or Global is on cooldown, I think things get a lot trickier. So Taiga opting to go shard, I think pretty rare, I would say, that Clockwork buys this first item.
That's true.
But really valuing that vision that you get out of that jetpack. I generally consider Force Staff to just be a better item than this, because essentially a lot of the times that you use jetpack to escape, you could do it with Force Staff too. But what Force Staff also offers is it gives you more mana, and you can use it on allies. But obviously the thing that it doesn't give is the flying movement. It's the flying movement.
You don't get a jetpack.
And it doesn't give style points, right? And style points are pretty important on the TI main stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Generally, the less you care, the better. So Amar's the kind of player you want.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. I mean, there was a lot of questions when they were at their first LAN this year. How would they react? Because they're very good online. It's literally the same thing, right?
But then they had an interview with the coach, and he was like, I guess we'll win. And everybody was so inspired, they won the whole event. So
can't blame them. This Rocket player will show that the Roche is being taken right now from Gaimin. You can see OG not that close right now. They're going to smoke up and try to contest, but this Roche is going down.
It seems like the purpose of this from Gaimin Gladiators is to bait a fight. I think they know that they're not going to get it in time.
Yeah, they back out for now. So that's what they already used. As the hook shot comes in, will connect, but there's the global silence into the pulverize, so it looks like Taiga will be the first to fall. Gets off the cogs, says, oh no, BZM stuck inside the cliff essentially. Again, after the shield crack, finally finds his way to the high ground, and Celery will be the first kill on the side of OG, but the buyback now onto the Jakira, but there we see Yuragi with the Chronosphere, all on the lifesteal, and he is dead. 50 seconds of no Duraccio, and that might mean OG gets Roche, but we'll see. It is only a couple kills, but again, the lifesteal is the big one.
The fact that OG come out of that
after the
with
worst
that
Rolling
result,
Thunder.
like double, he went from stuck to stuck with Rolling Thunder. Like
it happens.
They're gonna see the replay here of it. So good global, in my opinion. I think they have to kind of combo break here and get the Clockwork out of the picture immediately, so they get a numbers advantage. That Panga roll, and then this hero has some of the funniest moments in the game, but they were still okay.
Obviously, at times.
Yeah, Roche, very low.
It is low, but the hook shot onto Ace, and it looks like Yuragi is going to get the Aegis, no problem. Ace now cannot get out of the cogs easily, and as a result, OG pick him up. And now they're going to continue on. Boom. Pretty low on mana, but BZM pretty low on HP. So they reset, being happy taking that first Roshan for themselves. Now they're sporting that 4K lead. And the global silences, I mean, they've been consistently getting kills, but in like a Roche fight, like that was essentially, they popped it, they killed the support, and the support just popped back pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, they don't stay dead very long in these. And if you're just getting a support out the global silence, maybe not.
This has been one of the biggest downsides of the hero for a long time, right? Is that when you play it as support, global is such a huge part of what your hero offers that if you don't get a big payoff, it's not the greatest. So I think, I mean, given the circumstances there, if he doesn't global, I think that hook shot just leads to a really problematic fight for Gaimin Gladiators. So he probably feels forced to use it, but it's like, I think that was a good global, but it was just because he had to. He doesn't want to use it like that. So you want to, in this game, you want a global to kill Faceless. You want a global to kill Pango when you get that jump off, but you kind of have to kill them in the Storm Stun because Pango has the Yules into Blink and Void has the BKB.
We should mention Tofu does have 4 staff, and Celery's working on one for himself now as well.
Yep.
So just having these options for the cogs.
Yep, you need that for sure.
It's like here, best.
Celery,
but here comes the initiation from Boom. Look at the burst damage. Global Silence is there, but Yuragi pops the BKB and the Chronosphere. Trying to focus down Celery to start things out. They'll get him relatively easily. Now Duraccio gets destroyed. Misha gets credit for that, and Boom able to zip away. And Taiga, no hook shot here. So Boom is fine, but the initiation from Gaimin looked good initially. Not able to find themselves a kill, though. And that was still either way on an Aegis holding Yuragi.
Yeah. They didn't have Ace as a part of the play either, right? So they were lacking that bit of damage and teamfight control that Primal Beast offers. But sometimes it is like this, that Primal Beast either, I'm not sure if that exact moment, if he was pushing out bottom, because if you're all 5 heroes missing all the time, your plays get really telegraphed. Sometimes you have to show a core to give the enemy team the chance of getting out of position or feeling safe when they're not. So it's understandable that Ace is maybe showing here bottom, but it's just a tricky situation when their lanes are this pushed in bottom and mid. Like you gotta take care of that when you're making the play as well. It's hard. And OG's counterplay just again proving to be too strong.
Yeah, Miragi, he might use the Aegis here. Nope, time
Not
box, he's
even.
fine. And now a lot of mana missing from Boom. BZM,
Are they actually
doing
gonna
that Rolling Thunder. Celery, he's gonna be spotted and easily brought down from OG as Ace gets 4-step action. Now the zip in from Boom. This is going to be an infest bomb. They're going to try to focus down Uragi. They get him. That's life number 1. But the Storm is already dead. You can see the uproar Aghanim Scepter from Ace doing massive damage as he secures himself a double kill. But now all onto Dyrachyo. Gets bashed up, gets brought down, and it looks like Ace is next on the list. Pops the uproar one more time. Oh, he actually gets a nice polarized triple kill for him. And oh my God! Ultra kill, and then eventually brought down to Uragi's hand.
How the hell did he get an ultra out of that?
Man, I love that Aghanim Scepter.
I have to say, it's kind of winning me over right now that
I mean, in Aghanim's Labyrinth, that's the hardest parts. And
that was a pretty strong
things.
fight. He did more damage than his entire team combined in that fight.
Absolutely. That, I mean, that is an issue, right? Because you're losing the lifesteal and the Storm pretty early in these fights. You see the replay here.
Yeah, so Maiden dead straight off the bat. And that's a very nice use there from Misha of the Psychic Headband to push the Primal Beast away a little bit and buy some time.
This'll come in handy.
This connection is super good, though. Really isolating, killing Viper. I think he had 1 second cooldown on BKB there, by the way, Amar. So could have been a very, very different outcome if that had happened 3 seconds later.
Oh, here we go. The uproar is going to feel real good. Oh, yeah. Into the pulverize. A hook shot into live. Taiga. Well, BZM is here to try to help.
It's disarmed there.
And Gaimin just disengaging a bit as, okay. Celery with the freezing field just wants to hit the R button this game. Understandable. Pretty hard game to get that off, honestly.
Yeah, if he doesn't use it, I think Taiga was actually trying to bait. He still had stick and mech ready. Wasn't expecting the freezing field damage to pop off there, I think. Wanted the Storm to have to zip to finish the kill, and then maybe they could have made a counterplay. Not worried about it.
What do you think of open wounds being picked up? Like an actual person.
Oh, yeah,
a lot of times, lifesteal, you get it off of Roche. I mean, against high HP targets, it's extremely good because it's percentage based for each proc, but they don't. I mean, the strength here they have is clockwork, so a little bit odd.
I guess it helps him stay on top of targets and
Some extra lifesteal.
he becomes a little bit less less dependent on Storm Spirit constantly. I think for the most part in these team fights, Dyrachyo has been kited really hard. We've talked about all the counters to Primal Beast. They're counters to lifesteal for similar reason, right? Viper Strike, Cogs, Hookshot. If you have this shard, maybe you can stay on top of a target or at least reconnect on them later in the fight. It's a relatively small price to pay for the opportunity that it could offer you, right?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But yeah, obviously you would rather get it from Roche, but that has not been happening for Game in this game.
Yeah.
Miragi.
Oh, hook shot. Taiga finds Celery again.
He still doesn't
Mara is in the area to help finish the job. So support kill is Boom. He's going to be seen here from Misha, but pretty hard to catch that Storm Spirit without either. I mean, they have Ice Bath Chrono and Hookshot.
That is quite possibly the worst Gauntlet challenge I've ever seen. You get Hookshot by Clockwork, isolated, and you don't have Force Staff, and then you challenge him to a duel as Crystal Maiden. I think you cannot use the Gauntlet any worse than that. Very good from Celery. He knew that he was doomed. I mean,
Celery, he's a memer, so.
You're 31 minutes in and you don't have Force Staff on Maiden. He's having such a hard game. He had the dieback earlier we talked about. He's just been dying every fight. 11 deaths here. And it's...
Oh, we got the zip in onto Amar. Dyrachyo. Oh, the BKB from Amar. He's going to try to walk away, and the rest of his team is here. The bash comes out of the swashbuckle, but now the global silence in retreat for Gaimin. But the Yule Scepter, Boom, out of mana, and brought down again. OG punishing everything that Gaimin is attempting here in this game number 2.
Amar's just so tanky. This is his standard Viper build. He tanks up. Dragonlance Scotty. 3k health, 25 armor. Lifesteal doesn't have the damage.
Yeah, Dyrachyo, he's gonna be jetpacked on, and the bash comes out from BZM, gets off the open wounds, but it's not gonna matter. He is caught out. And 2 big kills for OG, as they can try to extend this lead now. Of course, Roche, we won't know when he'll spawn for the next 30 seconds, but they do have very good
Radiant's middle
presence on the map, does OG.
Yeah. And Silencer's early efficiency is really starting to fall off now, right? Because this is what usually happens with the hero. Enemies ultimately get the gold to counteract your global. If you're not very farmed and have a refresher yourself, you can't really offer the same dangerous utility in the fights you could before.
Or you survive until you get tier 4 items, and then half of them will dispel global silence.
That doesn't help either. But Silencer has come back into the meta after a long drought, primarily because one of his biggest weaknesses in the past was his laning stage just wasn't as good as it used to be, and he got buffs in that direction that a lot of the times makes it worth it, even if because global is an incredible ability for a decent portion of the game, and the downside isn't as significant as it used to be with the laning stage. But now we're reaching that traditional state of Silencer that happens pretty often in this kind of game, where you feel like you're one button more or less, and you need to use it perfectly.
BZM has the
hard spell to use
right now. He's got Ags, he's got Shard. He has the 2.5 second shield crash talent at 15. He is doing a lot. He even has the Brigand's Blade, tier 2 item that he's going to still hold on to because it's that good on this hero. He is going to do a lot of damage in these fights. As long as he's able to get off the Rolling Thunder, he is going to be very fearsome.
Under attack.
We have smoke from both sides. As Boom is being he's infested on right now.
Radiant's top tower is.
I mean, we should say one downside to infest bombing, because that used to be the way to play this Storm Nax combo from back in the day. You're not getting the HP benefit, really. Like, it's not a save. We've seen that from the group stage, how powerful that can be.
That's true. Yeah. If you're always engaging with infest, it never does anything else than that, right?
Yeah.
I will say, though, the way these fights have played out most of the time, I don't know how much of a save it would have really been.
Probably.
I think most of the time that OG isolate them, they're kind of just in trouble regardless of an extra 500 or 1,000 health, however much it is, depending on level. Right?
Okay. Well, they are going for the old Roche. It's already at half HP. And I don't think OG's going to get here in time, so this is going to be a nice sneak.
That is really, really important, actually, for Gaimin.
Dyrachyo regretting buying his shard now. Although Boom will take it, that's a very good one as well.
They put the Aegis on Lifestealer, not on the Storm. Generally considered one of the single best Aegis carriers in the game because of that full mana pool you get back, but...
That is interesting.
I don't know what the logic is here, because a lot of the time when you put Aegis on Lifestealer in this like Lifestealer Storm combination, it's because Lifestealer is going to go and hit high ground, right? That does not seem possible in this game right now.
Yes.
I think you have to find team fights, and that's where I like it more on Storm probably, so you can play more YOLO, just jump in, expend his mana pool, get a second life, and try again. Because as it stands, OG's heroes are just getting so damn tanky. Viper with the 3k health as we've covered, you've got Greaves on clock. Tango's got
Yuragi, he gets initiated on.
Okay.
And he gets blown up from 100 to 0 instantly.
Like I said, they don't have the damage, Shannon. It's
well,
case in point right there.
If they're able to use, yeah, the shard does a lot of damage from Boom, of course, but I mean, like I said, the open wounds, it does percentage-based damage. Doesn't matter how tanky you are. Of course, they do have ways to dispel it, but if you're going to be stun locked, then it eats through you very quickly.
I think Yuragi was really surprised to die there. His 3k health and a Titan Sliver just died in the Vortex. Crazy. Obviously, Boom with the level 20 talent has that longer Vortex, so helps out. Is eyeing up a BKB now, has the Axe. Yeah, don't count Gaimin Gladiators out, even though it looks hard, because that Roche could have potentially changed everything. I think a little bit of a blunder there from OG. It's easy to say from our perspective that that is one they need to defend, but just didn't have the read at the right time that it was happening. And now Gaimin Gladiators foot on the pedal, just straight down to bottom tier 2. I don't think OG are interested whatsoever in trying to defend this one.
I will say, even though, I mean, we're seeing them actually hit buildings with his Aegis, right? So that, like you said, having that on Lifestealer does help. And that's something that they did not take advantage of last time, is when they got the Roche, they were not able to do anything with it, as the Macropyre used to slow down Ace, but he's going to be fine.
He was eyeing up the Shivas, but he changed it now to Refresher.
He gets hook shot, and the Cogs back in, but the zip in. Oh, the instant bash onto Boom. He has to use these Yules just to keep himself alive. We'll have to zip away now, as even the Infest is used to actually disengage. Looks like Tofu's going to be the sacrifice, but that was an instant bash from the Swatch after the zip in from the Storm Spirit. It's a little bit unfortunate for Gaimin, but they don't lose too much.
I believe the math on getting a bash when you... Oh, hang on.
They're going to go back in, and you can see they're
pretty
going
good.
to blow up Amar right off the bat. And the buyback from the Silencer just to get the global silence off. And now the Pulverize coming through as well. Double kill for Duraccio as Yuragi wants to try to fight, at least trying to get the Crystal Maiden. He'll do so. He'll time walk back out. Not a whole lot of mana to speak of now onto the Lifestealer, but he's got that Ghoul Frenzy, Cinderin, which is all he really needs. He gets hookshot though, so Taiga gives himself enough space to walk away. This Diffusal Blade's being very annoying on the side of OG against Gaimin, but Gaimin coming out on top of another fight here.
There is still Chrono. That was never expended in that fight. Global Silence on cooldown here from Tofu. Can't protect against Void going for that if he wants to. But yeah, pretty good again from Gaimin Gladiators. Sure, you use your Silencer buyback, but I don't think that was too terrible. Aegis, however, only 1 minute left, so I think they would love to find one more fight as long as this is online. Global up in 30 would align very nicely with the play. And you are seeing them all go back to base to get resources, and I would imagine a smoke could be on the menu next. If they have any left, they don't, I think. None of them are on their supports, so maybe that's just not a possible play. Ace is showing himself.
Yeah, he was looking for something. He's going to get gone on again, though, and he's going to be bursted again. He does have buyback if he wants to expend it, but it looks like OG will likely just attempt to get back to base. So Gaimin, again, with the Aegis, has made such a big difference in these fights that they feel very confident to go in.
That kind of felt like a bait from Yuragi, but again, it's just, he doesn't survive. They don't force staff him, they don't get the hook shot in time. I think that time the Swashbuckle did also bash, so I don't even think he was unlucky on the Pango. It's the wrong read on how tanky he is, really, and I don't really blame him that much. I'm also a little bit surprised with how easily they kill him, but considering they already did it bottom, by now he should know what the game state is, right? So this time around, I think less excusable than the first one. Gaimin, I mean, this game looked like it was getting really grim for them. I think, yeah, the win probability was 84% for the Dire, and now we're pretty much back to a 50-50. So anything, anyone's game again.
Indeed. That's a hook shot. Duraccio no more with the Aegis. He's going to get pushed back, but he gets the infest off in a creep, healing up a little bit, trying to get his HP back via right-clicking, but it's not going to happen. But the reinforcements have arrived as Boom able to get one, but Taiga buys back into the game. Ace pops to BKB, now focusing on Amar with that trample, doing quite a bit of damage. Now we'll have to just TP out, but he gets back. Whoa! Okay.
It was on cooldown, I think, from
Shield Crash. The bash was on cooldown?
Yeah, I think he got a bash from Shield Crashing on the left.
Okay.
So I think his basher was on cooldown for that one. Because, like, that was a Shield Crash plus a full Swashbuckle. If you don't bash, I don't know, it's like 25% maybe to not get a bash when you use both of those together. I think we're going to see it perhaps in the replay here, so keep an eye on that in the end off to the left. Nice global here, by the way, was almost enough to save the Lifestealer.
Didn't mention the Greaves, by the way, on clock to be able to dispel that. Very nice.
Exactly, but the global just made him take a little bit of time to make that play, and that was enough to not get the full Cogs combo off. But we're going to see here, I think this is where he already crashed off to the left, right? He was on cooldown down there. So.
Yeah, no, he's happy, That was a close one.
Duraccio not too happy with that death, though. It seems like both carries are a little bit too far forward. Like maybe each team needs a Lotus Orb or something like that to maybe protect a little bit from these jumps.
He's gonna get hookshot on, and the item is still down there, but he pops the Uproar. No more bashes as a result, at least temporarily. Duraccio's come to play as well. There's a zip in from Boom. The focus again onto Yuragi, and he's dead again! Third time they've done this. Taiga, he's in his jetpack, and he's TPing home. They find a lone Jakiro, though. So Misha drops to the deck, and Gaimin seem to have turned this game around completely. They've been winning every little engagement since that Aegis was taken.
Is it time, Shannon? Is this when you buy A on this convoy?
Oh, man. I mean, do you think status resist would help here, or is that not enough?
I mean,
it obviously feels bad to have to go for it, but
he even swapped out his status assist, right? He gave away the Titan Sliver to get a ninja gear, so I think in this, it's actually kind of ironic. I think in this moment he might have actually survived with the Titan Sliver if he had had it. I think that would have, out of the 3 times they killed him this way, this one it might have worked, and that was the time he didn't have it. I don't know. I'm joking about the disc, of course, but they need to find some sort of way of protecting their Void. OG have really dropped the ball a little bit here in the last few minutes.
yeah, Boom has Sheepstick now.
That's huge. So yeah, now I don't know. I do think you have to play tighter around the Void. And keep in mind, OG have 1 Force Staff and it's on the Viper. He has the pipe.
Boom actually initiates onto BZM, but there's the Eon Disc proccing for him. Dyrachyo trying to re-engage, but he's going to get the Infest off onto Boom. He's just getting bashed into Oblivion, into the Rolling Thunder. They take out the Storm Spirit. Beautiful coordination from OG as Ace kind of left all alone right now, but he's a big, juicy boy, so might not want to touch him here, Cinderin. BZM gets off the bash. Ace has to use Refresher, and he gets bashed mid-TP. Oh, but gets off the Onslaught and into the Yules. I would assume this is going to be a kill eventually, but he gets off the Pulverize now. He's going to get this kill on the BZM, pops the Shard, and Ace just getting kited with the time dilation on top, and eventually the big bad beast is dead.
That is terrifying, though. The fact that he almost turns that into a kill is kind of ridiculous. Again, the damage recap for the... How many fights does Ace have to do more damage than his teammates combined?
Man, I'm sold on the Ags, by the way. It's really good.
I'm very impressed, too, I have to say. It's doing more than I was expecting.
But the result of this fight means that third Roche with Agon and Scepter on OG. Yuragi's going to take the Ags, so now he will bash via the time lock.
Yep.
Of course, that won't help him survive.
It will be a very reliable way for him of stopping the Primal Beast from doing his thing, though.
And now they're attempting to go high ground. No Storm for 15 seconds. You can see Ace does have buyback, despite being dead for 50 right now. Hook shot, and Tofu, he is donezo.
No buyback on him.
Yeah, 90 seconds of no silencer. That is big. Now they're focusing down onto Celery. He does have buyback himself, but Amar and company really want to go deep. The Chronosphere completely whipped other than Amar, and that is going to likely be the death of him. We'll see if he gets the tips or not, but either way, technically speaking, Gaimin does defend, and now the zip from Boom, finding the Jakiro. Double kill for him now. So they defend, and they got, no, the Aegis is still there, and it's still 4 minutes on the Aegis. And full buybacks here for OG as well, but that did require 2 buybacks on Gaimin, so it was costly, Cinderin.
And a helpful Chrono.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I mean, you can totally understand why he's going for that Chrono. If it lands, we're going to have the replay here. So I really like this engage first off from Taiga. There's a 1-minute cooldown and Silencer's buyback. I think OG have track of this here, so they know it's a high-impact kill. They find the Maiden here. And if this Chrono connects on the Storm there, they kill them both. We're talking 0.3 seconds, so it's like easy to be like, well, what are you doing, Yuragi?
Oh, we got a double buyback from OG as they've lost their mid-set of racks. And that means Gaimin resetting. You can see Amar not too happy with being chronoed by his teammate. Understandable. The Ace is infested on. You can see Gaimin. If they can get the nice little cheeky kill on the BZM, that'll be a dieback.
Okay.
Zip. Okay, that's the Aghanim Scepter. Electric Vortex onto the both supports, and they're both dead just like that. And now pulverized, but the Eon Disc procs is BZM trying to find some distance. Dyrachyo and company trying to focus down Yuragi again. There's the onside. There's the first death.
Do they have more stuns?
We'll see. Spawns back in. Frostbite is dispelled instantly. Celery getting okay. Boom goes in with another big stun. The Yule's keeping BZM alive, but this might be the death of him. Gets off the shard and the swashbuckle. He's alive, but there's the onside again. Are you serious? BZM still lives. That would have been an enormous kill just based on not having buyback anymore.
Oh my god, I can't believe
OG dodging a bullet.
That.
My goodness.
Yeah. Such a great initiation from Gaimin Gladiators, all set up by that offensive observer ward that they had in the base, seeing both supports. And they get a great jump with the AoE Vortex into follow-up Primal Beast Onslaught. But still, in the end, I don't know if the backtrack gods were helping out the Void there as well to delay this maybe a little bit further, but look at that beautiful engage there. Easy double kill there. And now keep in mind, Ace, I don't know if you mentioned this, he has the pulverized talent. Did you mention that? The 25 talent? So the Primal Beast has two amazing choices to make at 25. You either double the duration of pulverize, or you make it pierce BKB.
DN gonna use his sharp, but they're gonna try to focus down Amar. The open wounds is ripping him a new one, but there's the Chronosphere. Oh, he gets popped outside. Boom will live. Unbelievable. And we'll see if they're able to turn this around as Yuragi. Oh my God, he time walks everything off. But BZM is taking the brunt of the damage, uses the shield crash, trying to get back to his base, but the onslaught finally finishes off the Pangolier. Dyrachyo barely alive as the Uproar doing a good amount of damage, but Ace will finally fall. So technically a 1-for-1 exchange. Tofu able to TP out. Everything is so close.
Everything is literally like 1 millimeter getting bounced out of the chrono, 1 millisecond on the TP, everything just tooth and nail. I thought OG might have lost the game there, honestly.
Yeah.
Like when he gets bumped out of that chrono, I think Void was on 5% health and got time walk off. Like so close from both sides. You're gonna see everything here. So that rolling thunder is now gonna be on top of Boom. There's the chrono. So now he gets bounced out, gets force staffed, and now Yuragi is gonna drop super low, backtracking some of the damage.
Just
time
some.
in and out.
Oh, meanwhile, Amar, he's dead. 115 seconds of no Viper. Big kill for Gaimin.
Was he just out solo pushing mid?
Yes.
His teammates were too far away to help him. He does not have buyback.
That might be it.
And Pango's dead as... I mean, I guess the reason he feels somewhat comfortable doing that is Primal Beast is dead. You're not safe if your teammates aren't there.
They're playing it safe. They're not going to go for Throne despite being in a 4v5 advantage or 4v3 advantage. So we'll take the top set of racks and then can waddle their way back down to bottom to get megas. But still so much time without these heroes. But here's the initiation. Global silence, but the instant BKB. But now the bash applied to Yuragi. Now trying to focus down Dyrachyo. He's going to have to time walk out. And instead, they're going to lose Taiga. Does have buyback, though.
Yeah.
That's 2 sets. Now to the bottom lane they go. Still 30 seconds until their Primal Beast is back.
I actually think OG had to try for that. If they don't do it, they lose the lane for free and the play just happens bottom instead. Now they have a buyback play, potentially, with a 10-second cooldown on Chrono. This is defendable because Ace is dead and Pango is spawning. Gaimin actually needs to be a little bit cautious here, but they don't know necessarily what could be coming their way right now. Nice rage reaction on the ice path, though. Bash.
Gets bashed inside, though.
Chrono is available.
Yuragi.
Not gonna try it.
Yeah, reverse time walk back out. And you can see Amar obviously dead for 30 seconds. He's the one holding cheese as well, so that's an important item potentially that's still sidelined. But now it's a 5v4 until Amar is back, but they were not able to secure megas. And OG still have everything at their disposal once Amar is back online. Man, what?
This is not at all how I imagined this game playing out 30 minutes ago. Like, no way would I have imagined that we were getting this. What a treat, though. It feels like every team fight has some sort of detail that means everything.
Yeah, and it's always something very small, technically speaking, right?
Like one key backtrack, or one hero getting pushed a little, or one perfect force stab.
All right, the initiation onto Yuragi. He's going to get pulverized. Is this enough? It is, but he does have buyback available. The bash, not enough to keep Boom in place. Big rolling thunder from BZM as the Viper strike now to Dyrachyo. He's going to get chronoed as well, and he's going to be brought down. He also has buyback, though, but that's the bigger kill on Ace, who does not.
And he used Refresher, too, before he died, which I guess actually doesn't matter because he doesn't have buyback. So thank you, Shane.
Great analysis, as always, from Cinderin. As now OG... I don't know who's in the driver's seat. I don't even know.
I feel like have they kept track of this buyback timing on Primal? Like, it's a minute away. Sometimes you don't have the exact timing, and it's like on a hunch, right? If you know for a fact it's not up, this is where you could push for barracks. And again, they do kill Yuragi, but this time in his own base with the buyback.
Pulverizes are absurd.
Imagine if Ace gets level 30.
Yeah,
so he has the other talent too, because that is just absolutely dirty. 100% pulverized duration that pierces magic immunity, makes it effectively a 6-second single target stun.
Yeah.
That does AoE damage.
Not too bad.
And it lines up perfectly with your BKB duration, right? You pop BKB blink in, 6-seconder into a 6-second pulverize. Couldn't be better.
Wind Waker.
OG are not going to capitalize on this at all.
Yeah.
They can't. But they will have their eyes on potentially Roche, which we know it's going to be a while. The potential spawn time is already up, so it could spawn at any second, and neither team is scouting it right now. Obviously, OG will fire rockets there as soon as Taiga is up. They don't know yet. And I do think the crucial thing there is, sure, OG defend their base, and it is a pretty good teamfight win, but I think Void's buyback is worth more than 5k net worth. Like, I think if Gaimin Gladiators lead was 10k before that fight and it dropped to 5, I still think I would consider that a win for the time being, because they have a clear way to victory now.
Yes.
Killing Void ends the game.
I mean, look at the buyback situation right now.
Yep.
All 5 of OG have none.
Yep,
All
exactly.
5 for Gaimin have theirs.
You just need any sort of good core kill, especially faceless, and I feel like you've got this one locked down. You also have a 9-second BKB on Boom. He finally buys it and has buyback.
A very late game BKB.
He got it minute 53. Okay, Taiga.
Is that going to be the kill on the support? But there's a global silence. Boom comes in with a beautiful electric vortex onto 2. The support is already dead, and Amar extremely low on top. But he pops the cheese. Now he's taking the right clicks from Dyrachyo. But there's the Chronosphere with the macro pyre on top. Is it enough to take out Dyrachyo? It's going to be close. He gets silenced, so cannot rage, cannot use open wounds. But he dies and buys back. 3 dead for OG. No buybacks available, and that might do it. Gaimin will have a free path to this next Roche.
Yeah, they're going to get
free
Misha
path
too.
potentially for the game.
Misha doesn't have buyback either.
Indeed.
4 dead on the sidelines.
Misha is done.
If they've kept track of the buybacks, they don't do this. So Gaimin Gladiators don't actually know the game state here. This is 100% over if they just push.
It's always very...
Absolutely no way Void could defend this.
Maybe they're just going for stats. They need Roche kills, Cinderin, to get their quest completed.
Yep.
Maybe that's a bonus that Gaimin Gladiators, the org, will give them. The more Roche kills.
We promised you would bring you the...
Oh, we get to see Lifestealer, Aghanim Scepter, Duragi. He's going to get punished. The sheep stick is there. Please use Infest on top of him. For the love of God, no, we won't. But it's a full team wipe, and GG is called as GG. Gaimin Gladiators extend it to game number 3. What a game. I was not expecting them to come back, but that was it the second Roche that, or was it the
one they snuck?
The one they snuck,
yeah, they
basically won them the game.
Behind.